You think popes just sit on thrones and bless stuff? Think again. One rewrote time, one faced down a warlord, and one was accused of wizardry. Here are 5 popes who changed history forever. Number 1. The pope who stole 10 days from the calendar. Imagine going to bed on October 4th and waking up on October 15th. No, you didn't time travel. You just lived through Pope Gregory XIII's calendar glow-up. In 1582, the Julian calendar, the one everyone was using, had become, well, a bit of a hot mess. It was running about 11 minutes off per year. Doesn't sound like much, right? But over centuries, that added up to whole days of drift. Religious holidays, seasons, equinoxes, all slowly sliding out of sync. Easter was basically playing hide-and-seek. So Pope Gregory did something drastic. He hit delete on 10 full days, October 5th to 14th, gone. And just like that, the Gregorian calendar was born, the one still ticking on your iPhone today. Thanks, Your Holiness. But don't get it twisted. This was no easy reform. People were confused, angry, and in some places downright furious. Rumors flew, the Pope stole our days. We lost a week of wages. I missed my birthday. Okay, not the most popular pope among procrastinators. But in the end, Gregory XIII didn't just rule the church, he ruled time itself. Number 2. The Pope who faced down the scourge of God. The year is 452. Rome is trembling. The so-called scourge of God, Attila the Hun, is marching toward the city, burning everything in his path. And who do the Romans send to stop him? An army? A battalion of elite guards? Nope. Just one man in a robe. Pope Leo I. Spoiler, he had 0 weapons, 0 backup, and still got Attila to turn around. Take notes, new Pope Leo. Your OG namesake set the bar real high. Legend says Leo met Attila near the river Mincio, and somehow convinced the fiercest warlord in the Western world to leave Italy, with words alone. Historians still debate what actually swayed the Huns. Divine intervention, political pressure, a very persuasive speech. But here's what we know for sure. Rome was spared. Leo returned a hero, and the papacy gained massive street cred, not just as spiritual leaders, but as political power players. Number 3. The Pope who bullied Michelangelo into greatness. Picture this. You're Michelangelo. You're a sculptor. You love chiseling marble, muscles, veins, drama. That's your jam. Then the Pope calls. Pope Julius II, a man known as the Warrior Pope, because yes, he literally led armies in battle. Michelangelo, I want you to paint the ceiling of this chapel. Michelangelo, horrified, answered shyly, but I'm a sculptor. Too bad, because Julius doesn't ask twice. And just like that, Michelangelo finds himself flat on his back, 60 feet in the air, painting biblical scenes on the Sistine Chapel ceiling for 4 straight years. His neck hurt, his eyes burned. He hated every second of it. He even tried to refuse and went so far as to flee Rome for a time after being asked. But Pope Julius II insisted and threatened to cut off his other commissions. So, he came back. But, oh, what a result. Today, the Sistine Chapel is a masterpiece. Tourists from around the world stare up at it in awe, forgetting that behind the beauty was a very stubborn pope and a very grumpy artist. Art history? Basically powered by divine pressure and petty arguments. Julius didn't just commission the ceiling. He also tore down the old St. Peter's Basilica and started building the massive one we see today. He saw the church as not just spiritual, but a cultural superpower, and he made it look the part. Number 4, the Pope they thought was a sorcerer. Before Hogwarts, before Gandalf, before your favorite wizard had a long beard, there was Pope Sylvester II, and people thought he had made a deal with the devil. Why? Because he was smart, like too smart. Born Gerbert of Aurillac, Sylvester II studied in Muslim Spain, one of the most advanced centers of science and knowledge in the world at the time. There, he learned about astronomy, mathematics, mechanics, and the abacus. Yes, the abacus, a literal calculator. So, when he came back to Europe showing off clocks, gears, Arabic numerals, and machines that worked, medieval folks did what they usually did with things they didn't understand. They called it witchcraft. He knows math, and the stars, and time must be the devil. Spoiler alert. He didn't summon demons, he just read books. Books from advanced civilizations that Europe hadn't caught up with yet. As Pope, Sylvester II pushed for education, science, and logic. He was way ahead of his time. So much that, after his death, rumors spread that his body parts would shake in his tomb whenever a pope was about to die. Super chill, right? Number 5. The Pope who forgave his assassin. Some popes made history with books, some with battles. John Paul II? He made history with a passport and a whole lot of compassion. Born in Poland, he became the first non-Italian pope in over 450 years. And from the moment he stepped onto the Vatican balcony, he was already rewriting the playbook. He visited 129 countries, spoke multiple languages, and drew millions at his public appearances. But it wasn't just the photo ops. John Paul II played a major role in the fall of communism in Eastern Europe, especially in his home country. His presence gave moral and spiritual support to peaceful resistance movements like Solidarity. And then, in 1981, came the assassination attempt. He was shot in St. Peter's Square by a Turkish gunman named Mehmet Ali Aka. John Paul II survived, and then did something that shocked the world. He went to the prison face to face and forgave his would-be assassin. No grudge, no wrath, just mercy. Oh, and before all that, he was an actor and playwright in his youth. Yeah, the man could do monologues and miracles. Hit like if your brain just got blessed, and tell us in the comments which legendary figure you want next.